Barbara Gordon Breakout issue 1, Mariko Tamaki writing with AMANCAY NAHUELPAN on the art.
Nailed it.
So, yeah, this was set up in the last issue of Batman, that she had been nabbed by Vandal Savage's team, his cops. But this issue, as we expected, kind of set up that, they wanted this to happen.
Yeah.
Or, I should say, Barbara wanted this to happen. Batman and Dick try and talk her out of it, as does Cass. But it's like, no, like, we need someone to go on the inside and do this. I'm going to do this. So what she's doing here is basically Vandal Savage has been arresting anyone who's ever, like, anyone who's prosecuted criminals from, like, when Jim Gordon was commissioner, anyone who did anything against his interests, or just been rounded up, they're being put into Supermax, and they're turning up dead, and they're being called suicides, but someone's found dead in a cell, and it's all these people who had done good things in the past. These innocent people are turning up dead. So Barbara is like, oh, I'm going in. So we get a lot of this explanation and debate with Batman and Dick and Cass, as like we see panels of her being like taken in, and like Savage on the news talking about how she's this awful corrupt, she's the commissioner's daughter, the ex-commissioner's daughter.
Yep.
And yeah, like all the people who have like turned up dead. So the first half of this issue is a lot of like this all happening kind of simultaneously, and it's really well done. It flows really well, and you get this Jess. It's actually kind of an exciting start to like, oh, this is kind of a cool new status quo for Babs to be in. She's got this mission, and I'm excited to see where it goes.
I like how it fits in with what we read in Batman with her getting caught, because that moment's played like, oh, okay, we need to do something, and that's where she gives herself up. But here, it's like Babs took that, like, well, this is my moment, because she mentions that one of the people that were killed there worked with her dad and was the assistant district attorney, and was a good person. So they got sent in there by trumped up charges by Savage, and it was ruled a suicide. So also the fact, like, Babs can't condone these people that were doing good, being left to defend for themselves. So someone's got to go in there and see what's up.
Yeah, and Batman points out, like, we have plans for what this prison is, but Savage has been in power for a while. He might have changed things, and there's like no way to contact you or help you once you're inside. So it really sets up that she's on her own for the duration of this story inside. And we get classic tropes of her being in the prison yard, and a fight breaks out, and she intervenes and that kind of thing. And yeah, like obviously she's very capable. Like she's Barbara Gordon, so she fights off this villain who like tries to get involved, and like there's a bit, and it ends up being a character who was in Birds of Prey, right? Because we get like a big splash page of them fighting her in Birds of Prey, and she's like, "Hey, you look familiar, redhead," and it's like, you don't say. Who could I be? And
it was also where I remember Die From was in that Two-Face book. She was that weird character that thinks that Two-Face is her dad.
That's right.
Not Harvey Dent, just Two-Face. And then I was like, I don't remember her showing up in Birds. So the idea that Tamaki taking the concept of this new Birds team and be like, oh, this was an adventure we didn't see. Where she
that may very well be it. Because I don't necessarily remember a story with her either. But like that splash page is her and that Birds team from Thompson's run. So it was a fun call to that anyway. But no, like Babs looks pretty defiant, doesn't really care that like that Dai's like, hey, I'm going to kill you. Like you're going to be on your own at some point, and I'm coming after you. And it's like, oh yeah, bring it. Like bring it. Like
it makes me love Babs so much, because she's almost like, yeah, go ahead, try. I want you to.
Yeah.
Go ahead. And then it's just like, oh my God, it's going to be a long time for Babs.
Yeah, so she's like, hey, I kill people who piss me off. It's like, oh, looks like that's working out well for you. So yeah, and we get more flashbacks, like her talking to Batman about how tough this is going to be. How it's a bad idea. He doesn't really think it's a good idea, but he accepts that she's making this choice, and he understands why she's making it, even though he thinks it's going to be risky and she's going to be on her own. Yeah, so we get Dai coming up to her in the prison cafeteria and like running her finger through her food. And be like, hey, is it true your dad's Jim Gordon? Is that true? Is that who Daddy is? And she's like, Daddy? I don't use that word.
Yeah. Oh God, I love that.
Oh dear. So yeah, she gets attacked by multiple people, and again, she starts kicking the shit out of everyone around her.
She hits the sweet chin music right here, like, like, just it's a super kick party in the cafeteria.
Yeah, I like the touch of like you get a close up of her face, and it's like it's all the orange hair, and like her face is tinted pretty orange as well. But you've just got like the green reflection in her glasses, which is very Oracle. Like that's the Oracle color almost. Of like her punching one of the prisoners in the face. So she ends up with like a circle of bodies around her, and the guards come in and take her and say, hey, you're going to isolation. And it's like Di's just on her back going, F you, guard, and Barbara's just looking over her shoulder saying, see you tomorrow.
Yep.
So very fun, enjoyable to see her just sort of like take care of herself and know what she's doing. She's thrown into isolation, and there's some narration like throughout the issue of her talking about how she's going to have to get into the mail block of the prison to try and figure out like what's going on, and that means like finding a way to get there because there's a big fence between the male and female section of the yard and stuff. So it's setting up stuff for her to do while she's in here going forward.
All of the guards are corrupt cops that got fired under Gordon.
Yeah.
And Vance Savage has brought them in to be the prison guards. So like she knows this guy that goes to take her to solitary.
Yeah, people
He's
who
like, I did. He put me behind bars a couple times ago.
Yeah, people who weren't suitable for actual law enforcement being hired by a corrupt person in charge. Oh, that seems
weird.
But the issue does end with her looking concerned as a voice like speaks to her from off panel, just saying shush, and then like the lights go off, and you just see her like narration box saying no. So I suspect that like maybe she is getting attacked in the dark. I don't know if this is hinting at a specific villain maybe that's coming after her here, but obviously the rest of this issue she is like in almost no danger because she can take care of herself. It does make sense that at a certain point, for drama's sake, to like give her a challenge where oh no, she actually is going to take a bit of a licking here and have to kind of be able to fight through it. Like if she feels untouchable the entire time, it will feel a little bit too easy, so it makes sense that oh no, there's going to be some actual conflict that puts her in danger. So that seems to be what the issue is ending on here.
I'm looking at all the words, right? That are like the words like it's almost like the sound effects. As she's washing her hands, you have the tick, 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 tick.
Yeah.
The scree, the shh. And it's like, I'm trying to wonder if it's going to be someone that we know.
I hope because it's shh. I hope it's not shush, the hush daughter. No, I really hope it's not her.
At first I thought maybe onomatopoeia, right? But why would he be in the prison? Right, trying to hear, but then I just had a thought as we were talking about. I'm like, what if it was Cass sneaking in to be like, I'm not letting you do this on your own, Oh,
that's a different read on it, yeah.
And that's why the no, because she's like, what are you doing? I got this.
She looks worried at the end though, so I don't think that's what the reveal is going to be. But I mean, I wouldn't rule it out. Actually, do you know what's so funny is that on that page before the last one, she's at the sink washing her hands. Like if you take that top panel away and just look at the other three, but it's just her head, it looks like she's a guy taking a piss at a urinal,
kind of. And
it's not a critique. I'm basically just making an observation that it almost looks like you're just sort of sighing, because when you're peeing, you're like and then you hear something, you're like,
hold it for a while.
That's the expression she's got, and that's not what it's supposed to look like. I'm just reading. I'm just making a joke because it just looks like that to me. But that's the vibe of which her position is. But no, I like this first issue quite a bit. I like that Babs has this mission that feels very focused, and it feels like we were giving her something different to do. And everyone's going to, like, no one knows she's Batgirl, but everyone knows she's Gordon's daughter, and that's already going to create enough enemies for her anyway.
And the fact she's in there for helping Batman.
Yes,
I'm sure that's
true
not
as well.
Popular.
Yeah.
And I just love her coming up against Di, right? So it's Gordon's daughter versus Two-Face's daughter, which I think, like, knowing what we know about Long Halloween and the friendship between...
Yeah. I mean, not Harvey. Really Two-Face's daughter, but yeah.
Yeah, and just what that means, and that they're both locked up in prison with one another, and just all of that type of meta storytelling I do love. But no, this was a lot of fun. Like, again, I didn't realize it was going to drop so soon. So getting it this week, I was like, oh man. And Babs is such a good character that she should have more solo books.
Absolutely, yeah. This was good stuff. And I think Nahuelpan's art was really solid as well. I think it's it's got a lot of detail. I think particularly, like, obviously all the stuff in Shadows when she's talking to Batman and stuff is all solid superhero looking stuff, but most of this book isn't going to be superhero looking stuff. It's going to be her in a prison suit in a prison. So it's good that all looks very expressive. I think Bab's hair, which, you know, obviously because we're focusing on her most of the time, I think her hair looking good's kind of important actually. So whenever she's like kicking people and the hair's flying up, or she's like she's just standing there, but the hair's, then she's looking over her shoulder, so the hair's quite detailed. It just adds a lot of extra, I don't know, feeling to it. Doesn't feel too simplified, which is nice. So yeah, I mean, I think this was a very easy read, which I expected, because Tamaki books tend to be very easy reads. They tend to flow really, really well, and I think this is no exception to that. You know, and very, very likable as a main character as well. So obviously we'll messy things up a little bit, but this issue was mainly just setting up why is she there, what is her goal, and her first kind of like, you know, the prison tropes of like people getting into fights with her in this first issue are all here to set up stuff. So good.
Yeah. If you had to put a character in a women's prison movie, it wouldn't have been Barbara Gordon. Tell you that much. Having this all play out.
Wait, who do you think, if you said there's going to be a premise here where someone has to go into a women's prison to, like, you know, investigate stuff, who would the DC character be that you would spring to mind first? Oh,
easily Huntress, because she's not afraid to.
Oh yeah, I could. Yeah,
take, you know what I mean? For taking Bat Family. Also, Katana. I think Katana could work. Someone a little bit more brutal. That's really so. Seeing Babs be the bad prisoner, I think is very funny, right? Because she's a librarian and she's Batgirl, you know. So it just has that edge. But yeah, I would never have paid putting Barbara Gordon in prison. But,
yeah,
you know.
Huntress or Harley, or, you know, someone who has got a bit more of an anti-hero kind of quality to them in some way. Yeah, I could see it.
And that's why Tamaki's so smart, because they're like, no, we're gonna do Babs, and you're gonna love it.
All right, Matt, what are you giving Barbara Gordon Breakout?
I'm gonna give it a straight 8.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 8.5. I'm gonna give it the extra little nudge. I had a good time. Love having a Babs book again.